Hello everyone, TinaGale here with the Welcome Home Wreath Kit. If you missed the opening of this, be sure to back up and there's a video where I show how the kit comes. It's all pre-punched. It is a special only in January from Close to My Heart, so the links will be down below or on my blog. But this video is for putting it together. So I've already punched everything out. I have all of the flowers and things punched out and I just have them stacked up by flowers. And I'm ready to put it together. So I thought I would go through and share some of the tools that I'll be using and what I would recommend. So you're definitely going to want a good adhesive, and I love the liquid glass from Close to My Heart. It dries really quick, it only takes just a little bit, and it holds practically every kind of surface that you'd want to hold really, really well. Then some of the other tools that you might like to have that I'm going to be using is some kind of foam. This is a piercing tool foam mat from Close to My Heart that I have that comes with a piercer. You could also use a mouse pad or something like that, but I'm going to show you how to make the flowers a little bit more dimensional, and there's two different ways that I'm going to show you. So that's one tool that you might need. You could also use a bone folder to do some of it that I'll show you. I have my piercing tool here just because I like them to kind of pick up things or whatever. Also a pair of tweezers. So these are also from Close to My Heart, and I love these because they are such a fine, skinny little tip. So they're great for picking up stickers or doing just really tiny work when it's a little bit harder to do with your fingers and your hands and stuff. One of the other things you might use is this, and it's a quilling tool, and Close to My Heart also sells one of these. So this one has a small little area or a little bit larger one, and so when we get to these roses like this is really handy to use. You don't need one. You could also use like the piercing tool, or I've even, on smaller ones, I use my tweezers. These are a little bit bigger, so I'm not sure the tweezers will really be a great option. But some type of tool that you can grab a hold of it and turn it. Okay, so those are definitely things that you're going to want, these or something like this. A couple of optional things that I'm thinking about doing that I've pulled out is just some gold ink. I'm thinking it might look really nice to kind of distress the edges of these with some gold. So I pulled that out just in case. I also have the new shimmer pen. So this is just a clear shimmer one. We also have a gold one. I don't have it in yet. It's in the brand new seasonal book that just came out. But I'm thinking this would look really pretty over especially these white roses. So I've pulled this out and I might use that. So if you have something comparable, you might want to pull those out. Other than that, I think we're ready to start putting it together. So I'm going to go ahead and use my liquid glass and adhere this paper here to my back chipboard piece so that it can set aside and be drying while we start creating the flowers. On the three roses here, you have three different sizes, and so I'm going to show you how to use the quilling tool on this one. And you just want to start at the outside edge, and you're just going to slip that in there, and you're just going to start rolling. So if you put that right on the edge, and you just go all the way around, just lining up this bottom edge here on the inside, keeping it straight. And you don't have to do it extremely tight, but you want it pretty close together. And you're just going to go around and around all the way until you get to the inside. But this large area in here, this circle, you're not going to go in that. That's going to be the base of your flower. All of this is going to stand up, and you're going to glue it where this center circle is at. So when you get here, you're going to pull this out, and you see how that tool just makes things so simple. And I just kind of go ahead and pick it up and kind of start bending that. But you're going to let go of this spiral. And I usually keep my thumb on top of it just to keep it from completely going crazy. But you're just going to release the pressure and let it undo. And you can keep it as tight as you want and make a really small one. These are going to be quite a bit bigger, so you're going to want those out a little bit. You can see the tighter it is, the smaller it is. And you can play with this as much as you want. One of the things too that makes this a lot better, and you can use this same tool for it, is just kind of bending and pulling those down. You can also use your bone folder or anything like this, a pencil, just something that's firm that you can grab a hold of those petals. And sculpting. The more you sculpt and do things like this, the better your flower is going to look, the more realistic and just character that they're going to have. And you can tell some of that's getting, you know, where you have this big gap that you wouldn't want, and you don't have to worry about that because you can just sit and pull it back together or pull these out where there's more space between those. So just play with your rose for a little while until you get it the way that you want. When you get ready to put this together, you can get this as close as you want it to this circle, and then just put some adhesive around. And you can tell this is where you need a really strong adhesive that's going to dry quickly to keep all of this in place. You can also start this just by hand. So you can tell it's a little bit harder. You're flattening it, it's not staying round, so that's why the quilling tool is so great. For the smaller succulent flowers like this that are several die cuts, I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to do those. And one is probably better with the smaller ones, and one might be a little bit better with the big one. But you can use a bone folder and simply, you know, pull it like that if you want the petals to go down, or you can flip it over where the petals are going up. So you just want to do that with all of them. And these, I chose this one because it had the two different colors, so maybe it was easier for you to see how these come together. So you're just going to do all that, and they're just going to alternate with the different colors back and forth. So that's one way you can get them sculpted up, is doing that. And again, the smaller ones, you can use like a stylus tool like this that has a ballpoint end, or maybe a pen that has a rounded surface. But the smaller it is, of course, the smaller the deal. But your soft mat, either the mouse pad or like this stitching mat, gives a soft surface, so when you just push on it like this and do in a circular motion, it curls those petals up. So like I said, you can just keep doing that. So you can see that just curled it up. You can also do it with anything that kind of has a small rounded surface, and you just want to go in a circle and it will curl up as well. So either one that works for you. Like I said, it might be kind of hard to use these little small petals with a bone folder, but it can be done. So just whatever way that you want to do those, curve those up so that they have more dimension. Then when you're ready to put them together, again with your liquid glass or whatever adhesive you're using, you're just going to put a little bit on there, adhere that, alternate them so that the petals show, put a little bit more in the center there, and just keep going up until you have it all the way that you want it. And the other great thing about this adhesive is it dries quick, but you also have a little bit of leeway so that you can move and play with your pieces for a little bit. So you can get them just the way that you want them. So there's one of those, and then it will have a little gold dot in the center. So once that dries, you can sit take your bone folder and play with it a little bit more if you want. Curl up any that kind of flattened down as you were making them, but that's how you're going to put those together. Here's a look at the completed flowers, and I went ahead and put some of the clear shimmer on the petals. I also rubbed the edges with some gold, so it's kind of hard to pick up in the camera, but it really did make a big difference. And once it was all put together, it's just stunning. I absolutely love it. So now I'm ready to start putting it onto the background wreath, and I started with the banner and I just adhered it again with my liquid glass. And then I'm laying out the flowers, spacing them out. I went ahead and looked at the photograph of the finished piece and just followed that. But, you know, I didn't get too hung up on it. I just wanted them evenly spaced and kind of took my cue from that. So the first thing that I would recommend doing is getting some of the smaller, the filler leaves and things like that. Put some of those down and alternate them and make sure that they're sticking out far enough that when you put these large flowers over the top of them, that you're going to see those peeking out from behind, just as if it was a real floral wreath and display. So I put a few down and then put the first flower, and then I picked up some more of the filler leaves and just started putting some more of those in. I have them going upwards on both sides, and then just a few at the bottom kind of going I guess horizontally with the wreath, just like you would if you were doing a real floral arrangement. So I just got some of that filler down and then put the flowers on top. So I fast forwarded you here to the other side because I just repeated that all the way around. And then I'm up here at the very end and putting this largest flower on. The last thing I'm going to do is go to that gold foil alphabet sticker, and there are these circles. So I'm going to put those in the center of all the flowers, and then I'm going to put my wording on there. And I decided to go with welcome so that it could stay up all year. I could give it as a gift if I want to. You could put your name. I actually contemplated putting it into my scrap room and putting my one little word on it for this year. Here's a final look at the finished wreath. And if you don't already have your kit, you can order it on my website at myscrappyideas.closetomyheart.com. It's just $18.95, or you can get it free with your $60 purchase, as well as if you have a qualifying party that you're a hostess of or sign up to be a consultant. So there's full details on my blog, or you can contact me. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this great little wreath and this little project. I know it's going to be bringing me a lot of smiles this year in my house. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.